Hi, it's Starnell with Way Living Recipes, and today I'm going to roast a whole chicken in the Power Air Fryer Oven 360 so we can see how this new Power Air Fryer Oven cooker can do with a whole chicken. And this isn't going to be a rotisserie cook, it's going to be bigger. So let's get started with that now. Okay, what I have here are 2 whole chickens. They weigh in at about 11.94 pounds, just about 12 pounds, so about 6 pounds each. The rotisserie bar can only hold 4. So I'm going to cook up one of these. I'm going to pick this one and cook this one up. And this one I'm just going to basically clean out, truss, and bag and put in the freezer and cook it at a later date. But this one is, I'm going to clean the innards and all out, truss it, and get it ready for cooking in the Power Air Fryer Oven 360. So for now I'm going to just get these all set up like I mentioned, and I'll bring you back once this one is all trussed and ready for the rest of the preparations for the Power Air Fryer Oven 360 roasting. Okay, so I've got one of those chickens here. I'm not even sure if it's the one that I said I was going to get. Once I started getting them all prepared and stuff, I just kind of grabbed one and put one on one side, one on the other. But anyway, got one of them here, and basically to get this prepared before I put it into the Power Air Fryer Oven 360, I've got some extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to be using some fresh cracked black pepper and some Old Bay seasoning. I'm also going to be using the remainder of some Tony Chachere's injectable butter marinade. So going to just get started by putting some oil over the chicken and putting the spices on, and then after that, then I'll get the smart oven, well, yeah, it is a smart oven also, but the 360 started and get it started preheating. So I'm going to get the oil and spices on now. Alright, so I've got it seasoned up. I know I could have kind of done the underside, but I'm going to leave that alone. I know some of you like to cut the tips off. I like to leave tips on my wings, and if there's some of you out there who actually know people, or even maybe yourself, some people like to suck on that wing tip, get a little meat, a little something out of there. I mean, I don't do it myself, but I know some people who do. So I just always kind of keep it. And if you know anybody like that, leave a comment. Let me know if you know somebody like that. But anyway, got my injectable butter here. Before I start using that, going to hit the start pause button just to turn it on. And I'm turning it to roast. So turning the dial to roast. The roast starts at 350, but I'm going to up it to 400, and it defaults to 1 hour. So I'm going to let it go at 400 for 1 hour. I will not use the air fryer fan, even though it's air fryer capable when you're roasting to use the air fryer fan. I'm just going to leave it at 400 1 hour. And now I've got my injection needle here. Even though the Tony Chachere's comes with one, since I've already used this before, I threw that needle out and got my own injection needle here. And I'm going to go ahead and start getting this out and injecting. Let me tell you how I'm going to inject. I'm going to hit it 1, 2, an ounce here, an ounce here, an ounce here, an ounce there. So basically 4, 2 on each side of the breast area. And then I'm going to hit it up under the thigh with about 1/2 ounce, and I'm going to hit it in the drumsticks with about 1/2 ounce. Just going to pour it in here to make it easier to get into my injector. Just stick in there, and I just squeeze in there. You see it pump up some as I pump it in. And just put some on this other side here. You see that pump up? As I pump the marinade in there. And there's so much marinade going in, a little pumps out, but that's okay. A little comes back out. I'm going to put just a little extra in. You're supposed to use like 1 ounce of this marinade per pound. So you're only supposed to use 6 ounces, but I might just go for just a little extra. Alright, I'm going to quit the injecting right there. Actually, I should have, after I set my settings on the 360, I should have hit the start button to start it preheating. So now it's preheating, and I've got my chicken injected, so we'll just let that preheat go along. I'm going to also break out my iGrill 2 and get a meat probe in the breast and under the thigh, so I'm going to get that set up now too. Alright, I was just getting my meat probe in the thigh area here, and we see that the 360 has finished its preheat. So I'm just going to hit the pause button, turn the dial, make sure it's at 1 hour even, and going to go ahead and stick this chicken in. I've got it on the rack that is designated for baking and roast. I'm going to have to adjust my breast probe so that it isn't in, it's down kind of lower so it doesn't get in the way. So I just kind of stick it in like that there. So here's a 6-pound chicken. It goes in, it fits. 6-pound chicken fits. I hit start and hit my light so I can get a look at it here. Alright, everything looks pretty decent in there. It's setting kind of high, but if I set it on the lower rack, then it'd be all the way on the bottom, and those bottom heating elements would probably tear it up too much. You can't control the heating elements like you can with like the New Wave Bravo. So anyway, we'll let this go and we'll see how it comes along. I'll keep track of the meat temps in the breast and the thigh as we go along. We'll let this cook up and I'll bring you back. Okay, we're getting down to almost 15 minutes left in the hour, but the breast temperature is reading, you know, just in the 80 range. And the thigh, I was trying to get that thigh probe in the right spot, but seems like I didn't. I tried to move it around, still getting way too high read off the thigh. So I'll just run the breast until it's like 185 or so. That way I know that things down in the thigh are nice and hot by then too. But seeing that we've been cooking at 400 and we're about 15 minutes left and the temperature is still reading pretty low, I'm going to go ahead and up the temp. The only way to up the temp is to stop this current cook that's running. So I hit cancel, and then I'm going to up the temp to 425. I'll let it continue running for an hour, hit start. It's going to try to do a quick preheat, but it seems like it's already over 425 in there, so it just jumped right into cooking. It didn't even do a preheat. So I'm going to let it run at that. I'm kind of leery of running it all the way up to 450. That might be a bit too much. So I'm just going to let it run at 425, see how long it takes for it to get nice and fully cooked, but we've got about 45 minutes so far. Okay, this chicken's been roasting for almost 85 minutes now, about 40 of which have been at 425, and the temperature in the breast is only at 139. So this cooker is cooking a bit slow even at 425, but we'll have to see how the air fryer fan plays into things. I'm going to turn that on now and let that run for the duration of this cook. We'll see if that helps accelerate things a bit. Alright, so it's been about an hour 45 minutes, and I'm just going to cancel, and I'm going to let it continue at 425. So I'm just going to hit start again, and I'm just going to let it run without the fan, because I'm going to show you some screen captures from my iGrill app, and not just show you the temperature, but the graph view of how the temperature's been progressing. I turned on that air fryer fan the last 20 minutes of the previous run, and you can see that the temp, it didn't shoot up like anything really far with the air fryer fan being invoked. I don't think that the air fryer fan in this case, because this chicken, because of its size, I don't think that it really helped a bunch in my opinion, just from looking at the graph view for the last 20 minutes. I'm just going to let it run without the fan. You know, I could turn the temperature up higher to 450 and kick in the air fryer fan and all, but I don't want to just like over brown the top or, you know, overcook the top unnecessarily at this point. It's already been a long cook as it is, so I'll just let it play its way out. But I'll say at this point that I do feel that the New Wave Breville is a quicker roaster of a chicken. It did cook the top pretty hard in the Breville, but it still cooked it in like a lot less time than this one's taken. This has been an hour 45 minutes now, and we're still waiting. So gonna let this continue to cook out and bring you on back. Okay, so things finally reached 185 on the breast meat, and you know, it still was a well over 2-hour cook. I mean, at this point it's gone for an hour, no, 2 hours 15 minutes to get to that level. So you turn it off, just cancel there. Gonna get my cutting board out and put it out on the cutting board. All right, just gonna open up in here now and get the chicken out. And that is your cooked chicken. It does look pretty nice on the top there. It's not, you know, too overly cooked on the top. So nice slow roast. Just gonna get it up here. Get it on my cutting board, like so. Now that I have it on the cutting board, I'll get these probes out of it. So it does cook a chicken, it just takes a little while. It's not the swiftest of cookers as far as chicken cookers go. Seems to do, I guess just my personal opinion of the cooker, seems to do a little better with your smaller items that you need to get cooked. It can cook those pretty quick. But with this type of stuff, it seems to be a little slower on the cooking. Just gonna get this off here. Get some of this string off of here. All right, gonna go ahead and cut into this chicken now. Just cut right into some of this breast meat. It does look nice and juicy. That marinade's in there. Gonna get this piece out of here. Meat looks pretty good. I see that marinade on it. Just gonna get me a little more out. Alright, so let me just cut a little, make this bite size. It's cutting easy. It's moist. So it's a moist cut, so that's good. Gonna get the camera swapped and do a taste test of this whole chicken from the Power Air Fryer Oven 360. Alright, chicken from the Power Air Fryer Oven 360. Let's taste it. One more. Waited a while for this. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I will say compared to the New Wave Breville, that one came out a bit moister because that cooked faster and you know, was able to retain some of that moisture more. But this one is moist and pretty good. I think the injection really helped keep this one moist in this case. But basically we know now that the Power Air Fryer Oven 360 can hold a whole chicken, at least a 6-pound chicken. It can cook it up. It takes some time though, you know, unless you want to really overcook your chicken probably on the top if you cook it at 450 or something. But I don't see personally where the air fryer fan makes a real difference when you're roasting the chicken. You can just do it as like a regular roast, and you know, you just wait it out and you'll get a nice chicken. So that's how it works. Anyway, of course I'm looking forward to your comments. I'm sure there'll be a lot said about this one. If you want to see some more or get some more recipes and such, they're at superwaveovenrecipes.com. You can get direct access to this YouTube channel through Wave Oven Recipes. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Wave Oven Recipes. And I'm also starting up a Patreon page at Wave Oven Recipes. It's going to be patreon.com/waveovenrecipes just for this channel. Also, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and good eating.